Hello, welcome to Soulprint Intuitive Tarot for October 28th. So for those of you who are celebrating, happy Halloween. It's coming up this weekend. I wanted to, I've done a couple of readings sort of on SCOTUS, and I've looked at, kind of what's going on there. I think I actually want to do a bit more of an in-depth reading because, of course, I think it's on Monday. They are making that ruling about the 6-week abortion ban thing out of Texas, sorry. So I want to take a look at the dynamics and what's going on there because it is so definitely now a conservative court. And they are pushing very hard their conservative agendas. It is a sad thing, my humble opinion, when people's religious beliefs start to dictate the laws and the norms for a country. And that's what this boils down to, right? So I'm going to ask the pendulum a couple of questions. I pre-asked some of these, and I think you might not like some of the answers. And then I have my cards, and we're going to, drill down a little bit. So the first question I want to ask is the Supreme Court of the United States going to rule in favor of Texas pertaining to the 6-week abortion ban? I'm sorry, that's a yes. Is Roe versus Wade going to be overturned under this conservative court? And that's another yes. Now, don't lose hope. Within 18 months, or before the end of Biden's term, his first term in office, is that going to be overturned? Are those decisions going to be overturned? No. Are those decisions going to be overturned within 2.5 or 3 years? Yeah. Is the, quote, abortion issue, unquote, going to be a driving factor when it comes to the 2024 election? Yeah. Yepers. Okay. Is Justice Alito going to still be sitting on the court? I guess it would be for their fall session 2023? No, 2022. So like a year from now. Is Alito still going to be on the court a year from now? No. Is Kavanaugh still going to be sitting on the court a year from now? No. Kitty cats, don't fight. Sorry. Is Kavanaugh ultimately going to be removed from the court because of sort of the whole election process and what went on with that? Yeah. So he's probably going to be pulled for lying or cheating or, whatever it is. But, what is that? Behavior unbecoming. Amy Coney Barrett. Is she going to be on the court a year from now? No. It's interesting. And is Clarence Thomas going to be on the court 1 year from now? And no. I'm going to ask those all one more time. Is Justice Alito going to be on the courts 1 year from now? Is he going to be sitting on the court? No. Is Kavanaugh going to be sitting on the court 1 year from now? No. Is Clarence Thomas going to be sitting on the court 1 year from now? No. Is Amy Coney Barrett, or yeah, I think that's her full name. Is she going to be sitting on the court right now? Yes. Okay, so you'll notice we got both a yes and a no for Amy, but part of the reason I wanted to re-ask it was because when I initially asked the questions before I started recording, it was a yes. So what I had was Alito, and if I said his name wrong before, just bear with me. Alito, Kavanaugh, and Thomas all look like they're not going to be around next year this time. And part of the reason I wanted to include Clarence Thomas in that is because the last little while, every time I have been sort of reading on SCOTUS or asking questions about it, he keeps popping into my head, except I can never actually remember his name right off the top of my head, so I couldn't ask the question or make the statement. So I just want to kind of see what's going on here. I want to take a deeper dive sort of on the whole Texas abortion thing, and I want to see if we can get some information on those 3 justices that look like they're not actually going to be around next year. Let's see what we can see, shall we? It is very sad and depressing news that Texas might actually win this case, and it's ruled in their favor. And that, of course, is going to open up an absolute floodgate, and that's going to take a while to correct. But I think what you're going to see is an absolute backlash. If people thought, what was that, the Women's March on Washington, in Washington, I think, what was that, the day after Trump was inaugurated? It's going to look like nothing compared to this. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. Because, sometimes being wrong is good. All right, a couple more shuffles, and we're going to look at SCOTUS and some of the justices that are sitting on that court. All right, come on down. I have a question. And what you're seeing right there really is my little Muskoka fireplace. I always wanted a fireplace in the kitchen, And so now I have one, so I'm a happy girl. Here we go. Tell me about SCOTUS. Tell me about SCOTUS. Tell me about SCOTUS. Yeah. So, yeah, you know what? The court's going to be, and this is just not the Supreme Court. These are courts across the land that have been stuffed full of very conservative judges, and in more than a few cases, really unqualified judges. So, and you'll have the Trump administration and McConnell to blame for that for a long time coming. So just don't you even worry about that, boy, oh boy. They're taking on women, and you know what? That's just not smart, okay? It's just not smart, because it's just not smart. I mean, let's understand that women are not going to go backwards. And if there's, some few very old-fashioned, hyper-religious people who want to impose their will, you're going to get some real pushback on this. It's really interesting because as I was just saying that, the Salem witch hunts sort of flashed into my brain, right? And so what was that? That was right. A bunch of people that came over, they wanted religious freedom. And then as soon as somebody was practicing something that wasn't exactly what they wanted, well, now they're a witch and now you get to get burned at the stake. It'd be interesting to look at the astrology on that. Not that I know anything about astrology. But they just shouldn't do that, because women are going to have incredibly loud voices, and they're not going to take this. And the thing is even if I'm wrong, please God, and it doesn't go in Texas's favor, it's just gonna keep on going, okay? Like maybe that case, but then there's the next one and the next one and the next one, and this is going to be a continual battle. But it feels as if women are getting closer and closer to a point where they're not going to sit back and wait, and you're going to see some real, I want to say like some tidal waves or waves of movement, kind of across the country, with women who are saying, no, that's enough of that. You are not going to rule our bodies, and the decisions we make are for us to make. There definitely has been a shift in perspective, again, thanks to that administration, because it went from, Roe versus Wade is established law to, we don't like that, and we're going to do everything we can to overturn it. And, this is where, I'm sorry, objectively speaking, looking from the outside, this is where things sort of fell apart. For years and years and years, even as an outsider in Canada, around your election time, I would hear, it's about the abortion rights. The Republicans are going on and on about the abortion rights, the abortion rights, the abortion rights. And there was never what I could see as sort of a real push to somehow secure that, that ruling. And it seems to me that, and I could be wrong, but that there was something that could have been done that would have sort of more firmly entrenched it. I don't know, maybe it could have been added to the Constitution, for example. But in any case, so now you're going to have this massive pushback as people realize that, what, we should have been paying way more attention when those, crazy Republicans were yelling and screaming about abortion. Yeah, so the courts, as you know them, the Supreme Court as you know it, is actually in a kind of goofy way, they're trying to take away established rights and norms because they are not in keeping with those conservative judges. And that is just horrible. It's like in the last 4 years in particular, but it certainly went on before then, the conservatives seem to be getting very pushy. They're becoming quite the bullies. They really are ruling the country in a way that almost is taking some of the control out of the White House, okay, and or the Senate, if you will, but it's the Senate that's pushing this, right, the conservative Senate. So this is going to be a heavy lift, but getting the courts changed over is actually going to end up happening. Balance is going to be restored, okay? And I always want to say there's some stuff that's going to come out about SCOTUS, the way it's being operated or something. There's something going on behind the scenes that we're not privy to yet, but at some point we are going to be privy to it. And that is also going to be part of the push to rebalance that court and make it not be so lopsided. Because even if Chief Justice Roberts, even if he were to side all the time with the more liberal judges, it's still not enough anymore. And I don't know that he's exactly all that anxious to do that anyways. So, there is increased bickering and fighting within those judges within the Supreme Court, and it's going to start bleeding over. And so I'm sure most of you had heard about, I think it was Judge Alito and Amy Coney Barrett, who were pushing back, saying, there's not such a thing as a shadow docket, or, people think that this is really conservative, but it's not. We're just following the law. There's going to be real pushback, but that's happening. Okay, that's happening because of the insider bickering and anger that is actually going on within the Supreme Court. Now, the upside is it's not going to hold. Okay, it's not going to hold. And I don't know what the Ace of Pentacles is representing. I mean, it's a wonderful card, right? Because it's new beginnings, and this could pertain to new laws coming in, or new ways to look at things, new health measures for women. But I almost want to say that it feels more like it has something to do with money, dark money maybe, or something like that. But it feels as if this is, okay, so this is the overview of what I'm getting. McConnell took it one step too far. Okay, that's what happened. When he went to fill that last seat with Amy, he took it a step too far. And so what happened was that pendulum stopped swinging like center, and it went way out to one side. And when that happens, it has to come back to center. And then, of course, it's going to swing way hard to the other side, and then eventually it settles back down in the middle. But it feels like by pushing as hard as he pushed, he really, instead of it being sort of low-key and subtle, he really threw it in everybody's faces. And so what that has done is that is causing, I don't know, intrepid reporters perhaps, and perhaps some other organizations, like maybe people are looking into the FBI and the non-investigation they did on Kavanaugh. But it feels as if there's going to be stuff coming out about that court that could really, not be really good. Okay, and so this is the thing, right? Biden needs the court to become more balanced, all right? But he is reluctant at this point to make sweeping changes simply because he is concerned that that's going to boomerang or backfire on him. So I'm not saying he's not going to do it, but what I am saying is it's going to be slow and methodical, which could be a reason why it feels like it's going to take some time. Now, as far as Alito and Thomas go, I feel energetically like they're leaving the courts are going to be actually quite sudden. Now, I'm not suggesting they're going to die, although I'm not suggesting they're not. But whatever it is that's going on there, it feels like kind of they're there one day and then they're like just gone the next. And this is also, an important thing because you want to make sure that when it goes to confirm new judges, you have the right numbers in place when it comes to, what is that, Senate approval, I guess, for judges. So there's that going on. Clarence Thomas, I don't know. That's an interesting one. Because his wife was so involved with the January 6th deal, right? I mean, she was the one that brought in those busloads of people or paid for the buses or whatever she did there. So that's really, really not like a good look. And I don't know if that's what causes him to leave or it's something else. But like I said, in the last several months, every time I talk about SCOTUS, I see his face. And so there's obviously something going on there. Bad news is coming. Bad news. Stuff is going to get leaked. Stuff is going to come out. And in some ways, it's going to force decisions. If you're the highest land in the court... Whoa! Sorry. Are you all right, Twyla? Twyla was sitting on a box. She got to the edge of the box. The box fell off the table. Twyla and box are on the floor. Okay. This is my life, people. So there's going to be stuff coming out, and it's going to be forcing decisions. It's going to be forcing, in some cases, almost binary choices, like stay or go. Okay, so I don't know what that's about, but it looks like this thing is going to be quite a little upheaval for a while. You've got the Empress, you've got the Tower, and you've got the Page of Swords. So again, There are going to be some rather sweeping changes or big changes coming to SCOTUS, to the balance, to how things get done, and even to some of the way their rulings are made. And, it's an unfortunate thing, right? Because with all of the conservative judges sort of across the country, you're going to see more and more legal cases that have to travel up the ladder to get somewhere, so that, these conservative judges' decisions get overturned. And whether that's the next level up the circuit, or if some stuff has to go all the way to the Supreme Court. But definitely what is going on now is not going to stand. Okay, now that doesn't mean it's not incredibly frustrating and really aggravating, because it is, but it has become unbalanced. It has become untenable. And so it needs to change. It needs to flourish. It needs to be righted. And, the Page of Swords here, right? It's sort of almost like become lawless in some way. And it's going to come down. It's just going to come down. And slowly but surely, you're going to be able to see the court regaining its balance and ultimately regaining its status and respect, because it really doesn't have a lot now. And I want to say over the next little while, you're going to see that plunge even more. I'd love to know what their approval ratings are. But as this sort of unfolds, there's going to be sort of, they're not going to drag their feet. The people who need to make the decisions and get things corrected and sorted out, they're not going to drag their feet. There's going to be like a full push to get things, kind of the way they sort of need to be. And as sad as it is to say, Mitch McConnell's legacy is going to end. So everything he did is actually going to end up being turned to dust. It truly couldn't have happened to a nicer guy. Women rule. Women rule. Okay, so that's it. This is a little shorter than normal, but I think I covered it. I hope you have found this insightful, perhaps. And I, along with you, am going to keep my fingers crossed that I'm wrong about the Supreme Court decision on the Texas 6-week abortion ban. I would love to be wrong. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it. I think we're going to stop there. All right. So again, thank you so much to my new subscribers. Welcome to the donors. Oh my God. Thank you so much. And once again, if you are looking for a reading, there is information in the drop box below. So you can just send me an email and I can send out the information that you need if you're looking to have a private reading. Okay. So have a happy Halloween if you are celebrating. Until next time, take care. Be well. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.